How's it going, guys? This is vlog number 10, and I'm super excited because this past weekend was Father's Day, and I'm a new dad, so it was my first Father's Day, and Patrick Kennedy suggested that what I talk about in my next vlog, or in a near future vlog, it happens to be this one because it's close to Father's Day, is my experience of being a new dad, and specifically a new dad of a daughter, of a girl, which I have zero experience with. I grew up with one brother, no sisters, so I have no idea what the raising and growing up process with a girl in the house is. But fortunately, my wife Megan, obviously, is a girl, and she grew up with a sister, so she knows all about growing up with girls in the household and what that looks like, and she has all of the answers, and so I defer to her on everything. In fact, I make her do everything. That is a joke, and that is absolutely not my experience of being a dad. I would not have been celebrated how I was celebrated this past weekend if that were the case, but it really has been a great experience, and Megan has been fantastic and is a great mom, and I certainly do defer to her and ask her a ton of questions, and that has been my experience. But I've also been very involved and plan to always be that way, and have just really enjoyed raising our daughter together. That's actually one of the first experiences that I wanted to talk about today. I want to first talk about kind of my experience of being a dad, some of the things that I've learned, some of the things that I've seen, and then I want to debunk some common myths that were talked about before I was a parent, that everybody had advice about and everybody wanted to talk about, and let you know whether it is a myth or whether it is in fact true. As you watch this, understand that this is all coming through the lens of a dad who has one kid and is 7 months into that journey. If you want to see her, currently she's sleeping. And for those of you who have had kids, you know that the best time to do anything is when they're sleeping. So that's why we're vlogging right now. My experience of raising a kid, first and foremost, it has been fantastic doing that with my best friend, who happens to be my wife, whose name is Megan. Megan, if you ever watch this, just know that I love you, and raising a child with you has enhanced our relationship like tenfold. It's been incredible. Having said that, I have gained a ton of respect and empathy and all of that for single parents. You guys are the real MVPs, the real heroes, and if you are a single parent and you need me to babysit or you need me to help you out in any way, I will be much more available to you than I think I ever was or ever would have been before having a kid. I don't know how you do it. The support that I have in Megan as we've done this together and around us, but in the day-to-day sense with Megan, I'm not sure how anybody raises a child. I know single moms, I know some single dads, and you guys, I don't know how you do it, but I applaud you and commend you more so now than ever before. So that is definitely one of the first things that I've learned, gaining respect for single parents, and knowing my wife in a more robust way. And we talk about seeing, and what I mean by that is seeing different sides of her, both in how she interacts with our child Brielle, and in how we communicate and how we help each other and support each other. And because we both played sports, we really view life through the lens of teammates, and never has the team aspect to a part of our life been more applicable than it is right now in raising our daughter. So that is definitely one of the first things that I've learned being a dad. The second thing is you really, because I've grown up with pets, and because I have pets and have had pets before a daughter, having a kid for those first couple months is basically like adding another pet to your family. And there's a lot of they have 100% reliance on you to provide for them and to feed them and to take care of their poop. They do not go in a litter box, which if I don't think that's a myth for anybody. If anybody has that as a myth, yeah, I'm sorry to inform you that you do have to deal with all of their poop and pee. But they are very much, and I don't mean this in a negative way, and Brielle, if you watch this in the future, you are certainly much higher standing than any of the pets I've ever had, but they are kind of like a pet. And what I didn't realize, and one of the things I would say probably the coolest thing about having a kid, is how much of a person they actually are. And those seem like contradictory statements, but you take care of them much like you do a pet, and then all of a sudden you start to realize that they start copying you, which is unlike a pet, and they start bonding with you in the way you would a new friendship or any new relationship in your life. And that was something I wasn't expecting, and something that I have been very pleased to come and find out about, that babies, in the same way as adults, you learn more about them and you grow in relationship with them, and your relationship is enhanced and furthered by experiences together and by day-to-day life together. And I didn't realize that that was going to be that way with a baby, and it totally is. There, for me at least, wasn't an instant bond when she came out of the womb, in the delivery room, for those first couple days, weeks, even really for the first couple months. You love them and you care for them, but me being so relational, I didn't know anything about her. Nobody did, obviously. Maybe Megan just a little bit, from the 9 months that they spent together, literally every waking hour and minute. But how much you learn over those years of just, or over those months of just interacting and playing with them and seeing their personality shine, and you literally see yourself in them at 7 months, is wild to me. And it's really cool to see how our relationship has grown in the same way that my friendships grow, and my relationship with my wife, and the relationship that I have with family members and things like that. It's no different, and that's been really, really cool. The other observation that I have, that I just want to give a shout out to all the women who breastfeed, and the women who aren't able to breastfeed or don't breastfeed for as long as they would like to. Breastfeeding is a little bit of a weird thing for me to talk about on this vlog, but I need to just give you a round of applause. I did not realize how hard that is, how big of a deal that is, and how much emotion is attached to providing for your kid in that way. And I will always applaud. We actually had a cool experience where we were actually able to donate some milk to some friends, and the feeling of wanting to provide for your child as a mother in that way, I didn't have any concept of how strong of a bond that was, of how big of a deal that was. And so to the breastfeeding moms, I have a ton of respect for you, and I have a ton of empathy now for people who can't, and people who aren't able to do it as long as they'd like. I maybe would have dismissed that and been like, no, you're still a mom, you're still a good mom, but I think I'd be slower to make comments like that and be quicker to be empathetic and come alongside those real strong emotions that are coming through wanting to be able to provide for your child in that way. So to all the moms who breastfeed, bravo. Also a shout out to Betty Larson, maybe the greatest nursing consultant ever on the face of this earth. Betty, you were fantastic through all of our experience and just encouraging us, and that's really great. So I want to end by talking about some of the myths that you will hear leading into parenting and after parenting. Myth number 1. Once you have a kid, you can't do anything. This myth is absolutely false. It is a myth. You can do way more things with a baby than what I ever thought. You are certainly more limited, and it's different. But within 5 days, Megan and I were still going to Costco, partially out of necessity, but partially because we could, and taking them out into the world and taking them on trips. We probably within the first month went up to Washington because Brielle was born around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and so there was traveling that we had to do. It does make it harder, but it is possible. Things around the house, I'm really blessed with the job that I have. We haven't had to hire childcare because I'm able to watch Brielle while working, and part of that's a blessing of my job. Part of that is you can do more things with your kid when they're born. Granted, again, I'm talking 7 months in, but my experience so far has been you can do things when you have a kid. Second myth. People that you don't even know will touch your baby, want to see your baby, interact with your baby, and give you advice about your baby. This myth is not a myth. It is actually true, and I could not believe it when I first saw it. And if you have a newborn and you want to experience this, just go to Costco and make sure that you walk past anybody in one of those mobile electric cart scooter things. They will stop their cart. They will pull up right alongside your cart, look in, and talk to your baby. There will be people that will stop you, ask you, hey, can I see your baby? People you don't know. People that literally, there's like something inside. It's like a magnet. They can't walk past you without glancing at the baby. And then there are the awkward creepers that won't talk to you at all, but you'll see them as you walk by, and they'll like do a quick like head snap and like look into your cart to see your baby. Super creepy. I'll tell you one story. It was one of our little moped guys. He was driving by real slow. He was a really old guy. At Costco, we were standing in line, and he pulls up right next to our cart, and he looks over and looks into we actually had our stroller in there in Costco, and he peers in there. Brielle's a girl, FYI. Brielle was dressed in all pink and she had a bow. He leans over and goes, "Hey there, little fella. You're a little fella. Nice to see you." And gets really like personal bubble popping close to Brielle. And Megan and I kind of look at each other, and we're polite and nice, and so you say ha ha and just kind of laugh it off. But I was amazed he couldn't realize it. Maybe fella, for you ladies out there, you can comment and let me know, is fella an appropriate term of nickname or endearment for how you'd like to be referred? My guess is no, but he really thought that Brielle was a boy and wanted to let her know that she was a fella. So creepers, that is not a myth, that is real. Watch out for them, and enter stores at your own risk, particularly stores like Bi-Mart, Fred Meyer, and Costco. So there you go. Another myth, the sleep. This one is partially a myth and partially true. You are tired, and probably the most tired that I've been, but you get used to it, and that's the part that I didn't realize. I was not a good napper. They say sleep when baby sleeps, all this. Megan and I, not too good on the napping, but what we were able to do is create a good routine throughout the night where we were both able to sleep at certain times. And definitely for those first couple months, it is brutal, and you are up a lot. And for those, again, on the breastfeeding subject, for those of you moms who are breastfeeding and having to pump through the night, you don't sleep for a long time. And I have, again, huge respect for that. But so that part is not a myth. That is very true. You don't get a ton of sleep at night. The myth part of the sleep is it does get better, and your body does adjust to it, and it's super weird. So that stage does not, the sleepless stage does not last as long as I thought it would. But to this day, 7 months in, I'm still waking up a couple times, 1 or 2 times a night, sometimes depending on the night. Some nights she goes through the whole night, which is fantastic. But the sleep, that's partially myth, partially true. Not your body gets used to it, but it is some of the craziest sleeplessness that I've ever experienced. The last myth I want to talk about: you do pack too much. That myth that new parents, first time parents pack way too much stuff when they travel places just in case. Yeah, that's a real thing. That actually happens. Megan and I do that. And we know because we have to carry it and we don't ever end up using any of it. I'm really excited to see my second kid, how that goes, and if we actually use as much stuff as we did with Brielle. But guys, I appreciate you watching this. I absolutely love being a dad. I absolutely love the opportunities that I have from you guys to learn more about being a parent. Please comment below. Some of this stuff is funny. Some of this stuff I am serious about. But if you have comments or you have thoughts or ideas or questions, any of that, please comment. Always feel free to comment, connect with me, follow me, any of those things, because I really enjoy the conversation and I just love sharing these parts of my life with you. And I hope that it's helpful to you, and I hope that you find value in it. And if you do, you can subscribe so that there's more, that you get notified when these videos, these vlogs come out. I try to do a good job of posting it on my other platforms, but I also really appreciate the suggestions for what you guys want to hear about. Maddox Milligan, the last one I did, football versus football. That was a Maddox Milligan suggestion, and then Patrick Kennedy suggested this one, vlog number 10 on being a new-time dad, which has just been fantastic. I absolutely love it. So suggest future topics as well. You guys have a great day.